Welcome to the Hazard Class Podcast. This is the podcast where I ask my stupid questions to some of the smartest people in and around the world of emergency services. My guest this week is an American businesswoman and a military veteran. She's the owner of FLAME Decon, which is a company that specializes in making products to ensure firefighters can properly remove carcinogens after fires and during other job-related exposures. She is here today to discuss the problem of firefighter exposure, some best practices for limiting that, and we'll also talk about the history of her products, how they work, and how to best use them to prevent job-related cancers. My guest this week, Tara Cornett. Hello, Tara. Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah. So as is the format of the podcast, we open up with our wheel of stupid questions, but it's just a reminder that asking questions is good. Even if they're stupid, if you point them at the right people, you can get some pretty smart answers. So we'll open up with that. We'll see what the wheel gives us today. I've been adding new questions to the wheel, so hopefully we won't get something we've already had. We'll get one of these new ones. You ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Spin that wheel of stupid questions.
Okay, so it's a real wheel. I'm spinning it. Okay, it's one of the new ones. I've been fortunate. Okay, this is a dumb one, so brace yourself. If you were given the choice, would you rather have 3 arms and 1 leg or 1 arm and 3 legs?
Oh, God. I would need 3 arms, 1 leg to continue operating my business. Like that's just, I couldn't run the business with 1 arm.
I think that's right.
I actually have a shoulder injury right now, and I've been considering making an appointment with my doctor. And like, if it's something serious and like they have to do something about it or put in a sling, that's the only reason I haven't made the appointment, because I know I need more than 1 arm. So I've thought through this recently. We're going 3 arms.
That's really funny. You sound just like a firefighter. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've had that conversation, but like, well, my shoulder's kind of bad, but I don't want to go off for, whatever reason at a time. It's like, it's a very real thing.
Totally.
It's funny that you made a leap without me even having to say it. But I've had these conversations. I usually run these stupid questions through my firehouse before, and we have the conversation around the table. Yeah. That's really the origin of the stupid question, because you can't imagine the amount of time I've spent sitting around a firehouse table having these absolutely idiotic conversations for 8 hours at a time. But the question that was posed immediately was, do I get to choose where the arms and the legs are? Because like I want 3 legs below me so I can run faster. I don't know, 3 arms up top. I'm not sure.
Like, where does that 3rd arm go? Like, I don't.
But I feel like you'd want it for stabilization with the leg. If you didn't, you'd be hopping all over the place.
Yeah. Can I move it around? Like right now, I like to put it here so that this arm can heal. You know what I mean? Like
that's
come with the extra shoulder. Yeah.
Detachable 3rd arm potentially.
Totally.
All right, I'm done wasting your time with absolutely idiotic stuff. All right, let's get into the real deal. So let's talk origin story. Before the company even, who are you? Why do you do what you do?
Yeah, for sure. So I am a Navy veteran. I was active duty military for a while, and after that worked for the VA, did casualty assistance for the military. Then I worked for the Army and the Marine Corps as a civilian, all before I launched FLAME. And when I was working for the Army, though, as a civilian, it was a contract with the Army through my background is PR, through this huge PR agency. And working in the corporate world really wasn't my thing. So one of the reasons that I love being back, and they say back with firefighters, but back with this like brotherhood camaraderie is because of the culture, because of how you can just be kicked back around the firehouse table and just be yourself, right? So my background truly is just in that kind of field of service. And that's where I come from.
So how do you go from working in public relations to saying, I'm going to start a soap company?
Totally. So the contract that we had, that the agency that I worked for had with the Army, government contracts come up for rebid every few years, right? And there was a lot of drama in that contract rebid, where like the people at the very tops of the agencies got caught like in affairs with their spouses, with the people with the Army, and like it was a mess. It was in the news, like it was a mess. So we lost the contract because of all of this scandalous shit.
Yeah.
So when this happened, it was a huge contract. So I was doing PR for Army recruiting, and doing big projects for big Army, right? So when we lost this contract, the agency laid off so many people. So I was laid off with a lot of other people in our office, including our general manager. But because these contracts, when they come up for rebid, they announce the contract rebid and who won it months before you actually lose it. I knew that I was likely going to be losing my job along with everybody else. So kind of planned for, but I had planned to open my own business, but originally planned to open my own PR firm, because I went into PR thinking that that's what I wanted to do. And when I got on the other side of that, I actually realized that like I was so done with dealing with clients in that way, just people looking to just put money in their pockets, right? You're just trying to please people who are trying to put money in their pockets, and needed to work for the greater good. And so and I'm sorry, I'm just rambling on here.
No, this is great. This is great.
So, but when that happened, my mom was actually looking to retire, and she wanted to have like a retirement career. So she launched a gear and gift store for firefighters, because my brother's on the job in San Diego. So I went to help her with that. And when she fully retired, I took over and changed our mission to firefighter wellness. And that's what really just like led into FLAME.
So coming from that background of not really being in a tangible business where you have a product, what was it like to learn how to like create a product and scale a business and figure out manufacturing and all? Like how did you even go about doing that?
It's a great question. It's so wild doing that, because when you've never done it before, it's literally every little thing that you're researching and having to figure out on your own, right? When I first came up with the formulations, I did work with a team of scientists to come up with the formulations. I did a ton of research into how activated charcoal actually works, discovered how it works, put together our proprietary blend, then took it to the scientists to come up with the formulations, because I wanted their knowledge and expertise to make sure that this was right. But then when it came to like bringing our manufacturing in-house and everything from how do I now take this formulation and actually make it myself, had to teach myself that, which was wild, to how do I operate this machine to fill the bottles? I mean, it's pretty crazy. And it's just researching every little thing.
So currently how do you make it? You are literally making it?
Yeah. See those stairs behind me? If you go down those stairs, turn to the left, there's a door separating the house and the lab, but my lab is attached to the house. And
oh my goodness,
everything right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where does someone find a team of scientists?
So there are companies that do formulations out there for people who want to make products like this. And they're chemical engineers that you work with, and they help you with these kind of formulations.
So did you come in with what like, I'm trying to picture what that initial conversation goes. He goes, I understand activated charcoal is really good at removing these carcinogens. I want to make a formula that works to this capacity, or what is that conversation to even give them the pathway to go on?
I absolutely went in, and my first email to them was, I'm creating products for firefighters to remove carcinogens, to lower the risk of getting cancer. This is the research that I've done on the activated charcoal. Verify for me that what I've researched and come up with and put together is correct. I'm just a girl off the street. I mean, I've got my esthetician license and have been in the military for years, but like, I'm just a third grade scientist here, right?
Yeah. That's very
So
much how I feel too. I teach hazmat all over the country, and I go, I know a lot about hazmat, but I also didn't do great in high school. So I know a little bit about this, window. It's funny to try to, and then you loop in real experts. And fortunately, it sounds like you really did your due diligence to do that with this product. So then, like I said, you formulate this product. Now you figure out manufacturing processes to create an actual tangible sellable product. How do you then bring that to market? I imagine that's when the PR stuff comes in handy a lot, right?
For sure. But it's crazy because when it comes to your own business, it's different. PR on a huge scale when it comes to someone like the Army or other clients we had, US Treasury. I mean, they've already got so much in place and such brand recognition, right? You say US Army to anybody, they know who they are already. Building from nothing to get that brand recognition and get people to understand the story and understand the products and how they work for them is something so different than stepping into an already established brand. So there's still a lot of learning there.
So what has that process been thus far? Like how have you went about like making flame a known commodity?
Totally. So it's a lot of trial and error, but when I first launched, I got a lot of, firefighters are skeptics, rightfully so, right?
Yes.
So I got a lot of skepticism and people being, is this a money grab? Is it snake oil? Is it like, what is this? Does it actually work? Most firefighters are like, well, I've tried everything under the sun. Nothing's ever worked for me before. So why should I believe that this works, right? So in that, I realized that the key is getting it in firefighters' hands so that they can see for themselves that it works. So for the first 4 years, I spent at conferences getting our single-use packs, our half-ounce shampoo and body wash into firefighters' hands so that they could try it for themselves, realize it works, start buying it for themselves. And then they started going to their departments and saying, hey, buy this for us. So that's truly how I built the business so far. Of course, being active on social media, super important. But getting into firefighters.
Really grassroots, right? And getting the product in and having people use it. How do you go about, like, this is probably a dumb question based on how good the conversation has been so far, but how do you go about choosing what it smells like and stuff like that? Like, is this subjective? Have you used like test groups, or how have you even done that?
I think this is actually such an important question, especially with so many, you go on the internet now and there are, and this is going to be a tread lightly situation because there are so many internet experts out there blanket statementing that fragrance is bad for you, right? But not all, you can't blanket statement it. If you go to like EWG has EWG verified products that have fragrance in them because they've shown their ingredients in their fragrance, that they are not bad ingredients in the fragrance, and EWG agrees that the ingredients in those fragrances are not harmful. The ingredients in our fragrances are not harmful. We don't use essential oils, we use fragrance, and here's why. I have never had anybody come to us and say that they've been allergic to our OG fragrance, our Black Label fragrance. However, I have had people come to me and tell me that they've been allergic to the essential oils in other products. And when you look at the numbers on that, approximately 8% of Americans are allergic to essential oils, while only 4% are allergic to fragrances. And the main concern with fragrances, especially when they don't have harmful ingredients in them, is personal allergies. So that was one aspect of it. Now, the aspect of it of how do I choose like what it smells like is that I wanted firefighters to want to use it.
Yeah.
The product works really well. It leaves you feeling super refreshed and cleaned and smooth and like you feel good. But if it's not a product that smells good and you get out of the shower and like your girl wants you, like,
Yeah.
then it's not a product that firefighters want to use. So it's something that even if it didn't take off the carcinogens, you would be buying it when you buy your shampoo and body wash because you love the product.
Yeah. So I want to jump back to your point about the skepticism inside of the fire service, because it is rampant and rightfully so. Everyone wants to sell a product to a group of people that has the public trust. And like, if you do stuff for the fire service, you get a lot of benefits that go along with that. But I know that you've done your due diligence when it comes to testing. So talk to me about the actual test results. Actually, before we get to that, let's talk about what the problem is in terms of the exposures. So I want to get to what you've done from testing, because I know you've done some good tests. Let's talk more at the root level of what are we being exposed to? What is the product built to combat?
Totally. So you've got carcinogens, including PFAS, not only on the fire ground, after the fire's put out with the off-gassing, you've got it in the apparatus, you have it in your gear, you have it at the station from tracing it back, diesel off-gassing, all of that. You are coming into contact with carcinogens everywhere you go in your job, right? So that's the main like overall problem is that you are encountering them everywhere. And when you encounter them, you're absorbing them through your skin, ingesting them if you have them on your hands and touch something and eat. You're inhaling them in the air. So it's the most basic way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you would have to live under a rock to be in the fire service now and not know that we're being constantly exposed. And that's a great message that we're getting out finally, that we are being exposed. But I do feel like a lot of people feel helpless to it, right? People feel, oh, we're being exposed and that's part of the job. So I guess I just have to accept that. And it's nice to hear people working on things to hopefully not make us feel helpless to do with it. So with that, let's talk now the testing you've done and what the results of that tests have been.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually the only company out there that is tested on firefighters in live training, wildland structure, all different environments and actually on firefighters on the skin. And that's really important so that you can see the actual carcinogens after those incidents, and then how FLAME works to remove those. So the first testing that we did was after the Marshall Fire here in Colorado, and that was the largest mixed wildland structure fire that we've seen in the state. So we work with Safety Lab Plus, and they have these swab pucks that you can use to actually like rub on the skin and see what carcinogens are there. So we worked with them when they first developed this testing process was during the Marshall Fire, to test a firefighter after that. And levels of carcinogens on the skin were super high, obviously, after a fire like that. After he used FLAME, then tested again, and the lab actually decided to do this after they ran the after FLAME puck. They compared it to a blank one, a blank never been used one, and it was almost identical, showing them that,
wow.
Yeah, pretty cool, right? That FLAME had removed basically all of those carcinogens from the skin. It was super cool to see that. They weren't yet to the point though where they could tell exactly which carcinogens were on the skin. So our next round of testing was at FDIC, live fire training with Eckert Fire Tactics. So after 2 burn classes, they swabbed, showered with FLAME, swabbed again. The lab was on site, so we took the pucks over to them. They took them back to the lab, and this time they were able to actually pull out exactly what carcinogens were found on the skin, and then show that after using FLAME, those carcinogens were no longer detectable on the skin.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What was that like as a business owner to have that validation of the product you built?
I literally cried. Like, very rewarding. I knew the science was there, but just to like have that validation and know that it truly works for you guys, best thing in my life. Like I couldn't, everyone wants to contribute something to the world. In that moment, I knew that like I could.
I see you getting choked up, and
Yeah.
you're getting me too. I imagine that, just the pride you must have felt in that moment must have been immense. And so it's really cool to, especially all the work you've done and the teaching you did leading up to that, or like rather the learning you did leading up to this thing, all the hard work and the sweat and the blood and everything, to get those results is pretty amazing. Not everyone gets to have that tangible, like, wow, this really does what I'm saying it does. And I'm going to be able to have the effect I hope to have in the market, which is great.
Yes.
So talk to me about the specific products you make and the usages of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a shampoo and body wash for the body, shampoo and body wash, a hand soap, a bar of soap, and shave soap. So the shampoo and body wash and the bar of soap, those are just a matter of preference. If you prefer to use this, one or the other, use it. It's going to remove carcinogens the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our hand soap is actually the exact same formulation as our shampoo and body wash. We just put it in a pump to make it easy to put by the sink and use. Because firefighters need to go into the bathroom and wash their hands before they go to the bathroom with something that decons, so that you are not transferring those carcinogens to super sensitive skin and giving yourself testicular cancer. Big deal. And then also wash your hands before you eat, get those carcinogens off. So we put it in something, made it super easy to use by a sink. Last year we came out with our laundry detergent because everybody kept asking us to come out with a laundry detergent. And we're getting great feedback on it so far. And that's to wash basically everything but turnout gear. We just haven't studied how it works in an extractor yet. So
is that on the docket of things to do?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yep. We want to find out because there is some research out there for activated charcoal products in washers and for laundering wildland gear specifically. We just weren't included in that testing. And that was before our laundry detergent came out. So we certainly want to look at that with our product in particular. And just make sure that, one, it can be used in an extractor, and two, let's see how well it works. Let's make sure that this is good for the gear,
Yeah. So have you ever done or anticipate doing testing that coincides with like blood values of carcinogens inside of like anything like that? Have you ever thought that? We had a guest on the podcast a few months back, and he was a scientist from the University of Arizona that was talking about carcinogenic levels in the blood. And I would be interested to know how your product then translates to that in the long term.
So the testing that I have talked to a team of scientists about doing, and it's just a matter of funding at this point, and it's super cool. We haven't looked at blood, which I would love to, but this is so cool too. What they want to do is they want to put little probes right underneath the skin that will measure absorption, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and see how, if you don't use flame, how much absorbs into your body. And then if you do, how much has already absorbed, and at what point does it stop that absorption, right?
Wow, cool. That's super cool. So we've talked about all the uses of your product. In past interviews, I've seen you kind of be an advocate for some other things to do to limit exposure. Can you talk through that a little bit of the things that you've seen in your experience now dealing with this kind of area of study that people can do beyond the use of flame to limit exposure?
Yeah, I think there's all the obvious ones that everyone always talks about is, don't take your gear home, don't put it in your car, don't put it in your trunk. Make sure that you're deconning on scene, all of those kind of things. But also use fire wipes as soon as you get off of a fire. Get them off all your exposed, get the carcinogens, all the exposed areas before you get back to the station, then use FLAME. Use your SCBA. I know maybe it's not cool to use it during cleanup. If you have air left, do it, or get properly fitted N95 masks and do that, because you're just breathing in carcinogens while you're on scene. I think that when you're looking at one of the big things that I've seen is when you're looking at like training fires, a lot of people, so I'll go out with Eckert Fire Tactics to the training fires and realize how used to this environment you guys are when I'm basically choking on smoke and y'all are just like, yeah, we're cool. We're having a picnic out here.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think just being aware of, the environment around you. And if there's still smoke or off gassing and you can smell it, like, let's get out of the line of that. Let's get away from it. When you're on a training fire, also, you're not washing your hands before you go to the bathroom. You're not washing your hands before you eat. So use those fire wipes to wipe your hands off before you eat and go to the bathroom. I mean, there's just so many different things you can do. And then you go away from the decon stuff, and we're learning more and more about lifestyle, right? Lack of sleep, which you guys can't avoid, increases your risk of cancer. So make sure you're doing that off shift. Make sure you do what you can when you're off shift to get proper sleep. Rescue 1 CBD is a great option for that. Obesity is also a high risk indicator for getting cancer. We all know as firefighters, you should be fit for the job and be able to do the job in a healthy body. But on the flip side of that, it also increases your risk of cancer. The foods that you eat, the cookware that you use. And I know that it can get overwhelming, but I think if you go one at a time to adjust your lifestyle to a more healthy lifestyle, you can truly overall reduce your risk of cancer.
Yeah, I think that's the message. And I think that we're fortunate to have someone like you that's doing the hard work to push us forward in that path of limiting job-related cancers. So with that, what's the future of FLAME Decon? What's the vision?
Keep doing what we're doing and get the product into every firefighter's hand in America. I started here because my brother's a firefighter, but I know that this can help so many other industries too. So this is the first year that I'm branching out a little bit, and we're actually going to SOF Week, Special Operations Forces Week in Tampa. Oh, cool. Yeah, to start getting this into the hands of military special operators, and then hopefully eventually the general military, because they're at an increased risk as well. And just slowly getting into other industries' hands that can use it and help everyone be more healthy.
This goes along with that, I guess. How much longer can you go making it yourself?
Oh gosh, hopefully not too much longer.
Unless you get that third arm, I guess. Then yeah. My
goal is by the end of the year to have a manufacturing facility where I can hire someone to make it. So that's really a financial goal this year for sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is more a logistical question. I'm just curious. Do you have to, as you make these different product lines, you have to completely clean and then restart the assembly line in your laboratory, and then so you make one product for a period of time, stockpile, make one product for a period of time and stockpile? That's kind of how it goes?
Yeah, absolutely. And and you're totally right. It's not just, cleaning the countertops and the floors in the lab. Have a huge heated tank that we clean, the big machine that fills bottles. You got to, flush that out and clean, and all of that between every product. So
what is your capacity? I have so many questions about the manufacturing process.
No, totally.
What is your capacity as a do you have any help at all? Or it's literally you?
It's me. So when I make bars of soap, sometimes my mom will come and help me because she
Okay.
enjoys that. And it's honestly like the best like mom-daughter time. I love
Fun.
her coming to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's me making product right now. And for like shampoo and body wash, I'll make like the 8-ounce bottles. I can make 500 at a time.
Wow.
If I'm mixing, hand soap or 64-ounce bottles in there, obviously it's less.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, I want to be mindful of time, and this has been a great conversation. I feel like I'm just like in love with the product more than I was before, which is great. So tell the people where they can get in touch with you, where they can find the product, where they can find more information, especially maybe departments that might want to purchase this on a broader scale than just direct to consumer through the website or something.
Absolutely. My email is tara@flamedecon.com. For department orders, it's support@flamedecon.com. Our website is flamedecon.com. And all of our social media is @flamedecon.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. You got lucky with that. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for the work you're doing, because I genuinely do think you're going to save lives, and it's important, and I'm appreciative of it. As a person that's lost friends to cancer, I'm very appreciative.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Mm-hmm.